This video is going to be most helpful if you are a beginner beekeeper, somebody in your first couple of years who doesn't have a mentor or hasn't been able to watch a lot of other people do inspections. If you are a pro who can rip through an inspection in less than 10 minutes, this video might not be for you. My inspections in my first year were a mess. They took me forever, probably 45 minutes, and also they just weren't pleasant. I was getting stung all the time. I think I was setting them back a day or two every single time I got into the hive. So these are practices that I've gotten into because they've made my inspections more pleasant, that's made beekeeping more fun, and they've made my bees more productive. The first thing I would recommend doing, I've actually already done in this video, which is to remove the first frame and to set it up against the hive. If you've got a hive stand, that's great. If not, you can just set it on the ground, leaned up against the hive. Be careful of it, but what you really need is that space in the hive so that you aren't trying to pull out frames with very little wiggle room. And then as you go through your inspection, it's important that you don't lose that space that you gained by taking out the first frame. So watch here, I'm going to pull that second frame in against the one on the edge so that I've got exactly the same gap that I had before. If you don't have both groups of frames pushed tightly together, then you're going to start losing space as you're going through, and then you've got to rearrange frames in the middle of your inspection. You're also more likely to crush bees if you don't keep your frames tightly together. If they're pushed together, there aren't spaces for bees to cover, and if you leave little gaps, you will have bees crawl into every single gap, and then whenever you go to close those frames together, you're going to crush a lot of bees. Maintaining two tight groups of frames also makes you less likely to roll the queen in your inspection, which will obviously set your hive back significantly. It may not be a likely thing that could happen, but minimizing that chance is important. So every time I put a frame back in, I pull it tightly against the edge. The third practice that I would recommend is something I've been doing throughout this entire video, which is to maintain the orientation of your frames. So how you pull that frame out is how you should put it back in. This is one of those practices that some people will disagree with, but I don't want to set my bees back any further than I have to. I want to cause as little disruption as possible every time I get into the hive. So they will always say in your bee class, every inspection you're setting them back a day. And yeah, you are probably setting them back here or there. You don't want to set them back a day, and if you maintain the orientation, then whenever you put it back together, the hive should really be nearly exactly how it was whenever you first got in, which means you're not setting them back at all. You'll notice that I'm not scraping away all of the comb that's sitting on top of the frames because I'm going to put that inner cover back exactly the way that it came off. So I really don't see the point in scraping it away unless I'm ready to add a second deep on top of this, in which case I'm already changing it and I would probably scrape away all of that bridge comb. So this may be one of the biggest advantages of keeping all of your frames tight, is that whenever you're finished, you can push all of the frames as a group and then reinsert that original frame. It goes much faster than if you were trying to go through and individually put back each frame so that it's tightly together, making sure you're not crushing any bees. If you're a new beekeeper, I hope this helps you out. I think this video would have helped me out whenever I was getting started. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.